Hello class and welcome to chapter 8. In this chapter we're going to be finishing up our discussion on functional strategies. As a recap from our previous lecture, a functional strategy refers to the strategies that are implemented by a functional department within an organization. When you think of a functional department within an organization, you should think of the marketing department, the finance department, any department that exists that we typically get our degrees in. Right? It could be the R&D department, logistics department, IT department, and so on. As the senior management lays out the overall strategy for the organization, each functional department is responsible for coming up with their strategy on how they're going to help senior management fulfill the overall strategy. Those are what functional strategies are. We're going to start off by talking about the research and development department. This department is what's responsible for developing all the new product innovation. They are very closely tied with the marketing department, as a lot of information about customer wants, needs, and desires comes through the marketing department via the research department. So that information feeds into research and development, and they begin to develop new products or new features on existing products. So a company can focus on being a technological leader or a technological follower. What this means is a leader is constantly out there developing new products. They're investing a lot of money in research and development. They're adding new features constantly. They are the ones that are creating the marketplace. A technological follower is someone who waits for new product features and attributes to be accepted by customers, waits for it to become the norm, and then they implement that technology within their department. So they tend to invest less money in research and development. A couple companies you could think of that may fit this model would be Apple, as a technological leader, constantly introducing new products, features, and trying to create new marketplaces with products. And you could think of Dell as a technological follower. So yes, Dell does put money in research and development, but for the vast majority part, a lot of the technologies, by the time they implement them, they've already been out into the marketplace, tested, and approved by customers. Then you have what's called open innovation. This is the use of alliances and connections with corporations, governments, academic labs, and consumers to develop new products and processes. So this refers to the creation of a lot of alliances and things like that in order to drive product innovation. Then you have your operations department, which has their own strategies. It determines how and where a product or service will be manufactured, the level of vertical integration, we talked about that in the previous chapter, and the production process and the deployment of physical resources and how they relate to suppliers. So you have a lot of logistics that take place here. How the product is going to be manufactured. This can be done via job shop. You can connect line batch flows, flexible manufacturing systems, continuous improvement. TQM is also a major part of the operations department and their overall strategy. Mass customization. This is a huge trend that's going on in the marketplace right now, where companies are trying to customize every product to a particular customer's wants or needs. So the operations department, these are some of the strategies that they implement in order to support top management. The purchasing department also implements strategies designed to help the company achieve top management's goals and objectives. They could be doing this through how they use their suppliers, either having a sole supplier or having multiple suppliers. What we call parallel sourcing, which means that you're buying the same product, but from two different companies. This way, should one company have a price increase or go out of business, you don't lose continuity in your purchasing of supplies or materials to manufacture your product. And then a big one, which is incredibly popular right now, is just-in-time management, what we call JIT. And this is the manufacturing process where inventories and supplies are brought in only as they are needed to go directly into the manufacturing process. So the less time you have items set up in your inventory, the less money you tend to spend. And just-in-time management focuses on minimizing the amount of manufacturing inventory that a company has at any given point in time. Outsourcing and offshoring, these are also strategies that are employed. Outsourcing means that I'm going to be purchasing companies, or I'm going to give a product to a particular phase of my manufacturing process, perhaps to a completely different company. So maybe I used to make my engines and then put them in the car. I no longer want to make my engines, so I'm going to outsource that. I'm going to hire this other organization to make the engines. Once they're made, they'll deliver them to my shop, and then I'll put them into the vehicles. So that's considered outsourcing. Now, offshoring is the same thing as outsourcing, except this time I'm sending that to a country that's out of my country. Instead of it being a US company making that engine, now it's a Chinese company or a Korean company that makes that engine and then ships it back to us. Logistics department, they also have strategies. When you think of logistics, you should think of all the different components that are necessary to bring that product to the market for your customer. Your supply chain. is what logistics is all about. So you have three common strategies: centralization, outsourcing, and obviously using the internet has increased the connectivity and the flow of information throughout your supply chain tremendously. So there are a lot of strategies that center around centralization, outsourcing, and the internet. Human resources. The HR department also is responsible for developing its own set of strategies to help senior management achieve the goals in the company. So here are some common things that the HR departments may do. Self-managed teams. This is a trend in the marketplace where teams are actually managing themselves. The idea here is that certain functions require people with such strong expertise that they don't need managers to govern them, that they in fact can manage themselves. A 360-degree appraisal. This is a very common approach that you see now. This is where, when we're doing the once-a-year appraisal process of our employees, we actually solicit feedback from other individuals. So we get feedback from the employee, him or herself. We get feedback from their coworkers, maybe some of their customers, and also some of the senior management above them. And we use that information from all 360 degrees around that employee to determine whether they're doing a good job or not, and to give them a proper evaluation. And diverse workforce. Companies are realizing the importance of this more and more. The customer base you're selling to is diverse. You're selling to people from all different ethnic backgrounds, educational backgrounds, social and economic backgrounds, even countries' backgrounds. So it behooves you to have people from various social economic backgrounds, educational backgrounds, different countries, all developing your product, developing your marketing strategy, developing your finance strategy. That way the interests of your entire customer base can be represented within your company, and the end result will be that you can increase sales. Here are some common strategies to avoid. Now, once again, these are strategies that you should not implement. Follow the leader. This means that there's a leader in the marketplace and you just simply copy what they're doing. Strategies don't work that way. Each company is different and unique, and what may work for one company may not work for another company. So simply following or mimicking someone else's strategy does not guarantee success. Hit another home run. This is something that people get caught up in. We launched XYZ product, here's how we did it, and we had great, tremendous success. Therefore, we're going to launch another product and we're going to do the exact same thing. Well, just because you had a success with one set of activities doesn't mean that on the next product or what have you, that you're going to have that same type of success. You have to be willing to customize your strategy for each product that you're launching. An arms race. This is when you're increasing your competitive marketing strategies and production strategies, features and function strategies with another company. So think of these as like Sprint and Verizon. Right now they have an arms race going on where they're constantly competing directly back and forth with one another. They're launching marketing campaigns against each other. They're lowering their prices. This is a very dangerous game to play, and it should be one that's avoided. At the end of the day, you only serve to hurt your organization. The do everything approach. This is where a company tries to do everything. Instead of differentiating themselves or separating themselves as a specific type of organization or vendor, they try to do a little bit of everything. When you're doing a little bit of everything, you become a master of nothing. So people don't know what you stand for. Organizations that have developed a successful niche, they will always outperform you in their niche. So here you are competing against a number of organizations with specialties, and you're more of a generalist. So when it comes to any unique area, your company is outperformed. So it's a very dangerous strategy. And then losing hand. This strategy refers to there's something that you're doing that's not working, but you're so committed to it, you're going to continue to do it. You're going to see it through. All we need is resolve. Well, sometimes resolve is important, obviously, but sometimes you can be resolved with the wrong strategy, and that could be the beginning of your downfall. So these are strategies that you should avoid when it comes to organizational management. That wraps it up for this lecture, guys. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please let us know, and we'll see you next class period.